I drove the Porsche. The one I thought would be mine. Perfect in every way, the perfect spec. Everything about it was just screaming, the one. But the next day, it was gone. Now I'm left asking myself the question, do I commit? Do I stretch my budget for a dream? Or is this just another car that will end up costing me thousands? I've been down this road before, I've owned cars that broke the bank, and it's always the same question. Am I setting myself up for heartache and headache? Again. But this one's different. I'm almost 30, well, actually, that's quite rude, I'm actually 27. And I've always said I'll own a Porsche by then, so do I take the leap? Because sometimes the risk is worth the reward. Let's find out. Sorry about that dramatic intro, I think we're past that now. But in all seriousness, the most money I've ever spent on a car for this channel is £8,500. And what we're looking at now is just under 20. We're looking at the 20 figure, which is quite a lot of money. And I know it's a lot of car for the money and all that, but it's gonna take some real thinking and figuring out this time, and that's what I want this video to be. So welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you, as always, for watching the channel. Today is a serious video. I'm wearing black. I'm in a black room. I feel quite like official. We're not even in a car. We're literally like in an office having a serious conversation because this is like serious business now, okay? So I've got several questions, several things I need to figure out. I'm basically going to do a massive brain dump on you and we're just gonna see what happens, okay? But hopefully by the end of this video, I'm gonna have made a decision on where I'm gonna go with the channel next. So you may have seen my last Porsche video. We went to see a 996. It was a C4S, so Carrera 4 four-wheel drive. The S is like, it's got a sportier body kit on it. It looks a bit like the turbo. It's basically like the #1 goal dream car right now. It's been on my mind for a year or two, and that would be like top, right? So if you imagine this is like a little, we're gonna have pictures here, okay? Sorry, George, who's gonna edit this video. This is the dream, right? And I'm not down, anyone that's got a car down here, this is not me being rude, but I'm talking like cost-wise, okay? And the literal cost of these cars. So that's up here. Realistically, these ones are gonna be a bit more expensive, but also what I would prefer to have to own to drive for several reasons. So yeah, C4S is like #1. And we got the Carrera 4, which is the non-S version, but four-wheel drive. Then just a Carrera, which is a two-wheel drive. Obviously, depends on spec and stuff, but I feel like generally the C4S is more expensive. Then obviously underneath that, we've got not getting a 911 and starting with a Boxster. Now, I'm only 27. My issue here is if I go for the sky, if I reach up high up here, if we go for my #1 choice now, have I like ruined my journey with these cars? I know you can get newer ones. I know we could get a 997. I know we could get like something else, but I worry that, and it's a real like worry, it's not a worry, is it? It's a ridiculous thing to say, but if I go and peak too early, have I not enjoyed the kind of ownership journey and like gone up the ranks starting with something like a Boxster? So we're looking at like the Boxster 986 or, I mean, potentially 987. Is a hard one, but this whole thing I'm looking at, I'm really looking like it's here, but it's not. I'll look back at you. It's really the 996s I'm looking at. I know a lot of people commented on the last video saying, oh, just push to a 997, like it'll be worth it, you get so much more, blah, blah, blah. But for me, I want a 996. That's the car I'm interested in. That's the car that I like the look of. I love the drive of it. It was my first ever time driving a Porsche, and what made me go, okay, we need one of these like now. So for now, 996 is where my heart's set. I mean, never say never. I'm sure I will own a 997 at some point in my life, but I would like to start with a 996 or a Boxster. So that's basically where my head's at. So we're gonna do a little bit of Auto Trader looking today, see what's out there. There is a car I'm actually going to look at this weekend. I'm not gonna give away much more than that. It's a Porsche, it's a 996, and that's what I'm gonna say. But we shall see what happens with that. And budget-wise, they're so different. Going from the price of Boxsters I've been looking at to the C4S that I drove, that was like 20 grand. That's obviously a lot more money than the Boxsters. Some of the Boxsters are like around 10 that I've been looking at. Huge difference in price. And this by no means I don't want to offend any Boxster owners and drivers, and there's a huge community for them. I think they're amazing cars, and when people say it's like the poor man's Porsche, I don't really agree with that. I think they've got so many characteristics of their own, and I think they are great for what they are, but for me, I just don't know if it excites me as much as a 911 would. So that's where I'm at, that's where my head's at. So if we pull up Auto Trader now. So you may have already realised my current addiction to Auto Trader is slightly unhealthy, but a healthier habit I've gotten into recently is switching out fizzy drinks that I'll often reach for when I'm feeling a little bit tired in the day. I'm kind of prone to a Diet Coke or a Pepsi Max. It's kind of my guilty pleasure. I know the ingredients aren't great, but I do kind of love it. But a company called Holy, who you may have seen in a recent video, reached out, sent me some of their products. I've been trying to make some swaps. Holy are basically little sachets of powder that you add to 500 ml of water, give it a shake, and they can do various things for you, as you can see. So we've got hydration over here, the iced tea ones in the middle, but my favourite are Holy Energy. So what have I got left that I haven't tried already? Okay, Lion's Lemonade, that sounds quite good. So I'm gonna go with the Gorilla's Grape, as you do. The idea behind these basically is that there's no nasties, there's no sugar, it's all natural flavours and colours. The thing I like about it the most is how it smells good. It's just how convenient it is. So all you need is a sachet with you. 500 ml of water, we're gonna pop it in. Give it a quick shake. Let's give this a go. They're full of vitamins as well. That's delicious. It kind of tastes like a little bit sour. This might be my new favourite flavour. The Hydrate ones are amazing because they're full of electrolytes, so I'll often have these sort of before, during, after my workouts. And I also tried this one the other day, which has got matcha in, antioxidants, superfood complex. We're getting some good stuff in here, guys. So if you are interested in trying it for yourself, you can use code Lucy for 10% off your first order, or Lucy5 for £5 off. So take your pick. I love the branding, I love all the little characters and stuff on the packaging, and it's great to find a drink that I'm enjoying drinking, that's giving me the caffeine, that's giving me good stuff as well, and it's also luring me away from those fizzy drinks. Thank you again to Holy for sponsoring the video. There'll be a link below if you wanted to check it out for yourself. But now, back on to finding my Porsche. Okay, so we're gonna go in and we're gonna look at a Boxster first, I think, and see what's out there. So, minimum price, let's set it at 5 and max at 12. Quite a big range, but I don't know, that's the thing with these cars. There are some things that you wouldn't want to go too cheap with because they have known issues, and we'll get onto that in a bit. So the first thing, which is quite a big thing, is the fact that all Boxsters are convertible, and my choice of 911 would be a non-convertible, a hard, well, not even a hard top, a, what's the word? A coupe. I don't know why. I think part of me thinks roof down in the summer quite cool. The reality of a convertible, I find it highly irritating because your hair is just in your face and the sun's in your eyes, and I've never quite been like a convertible cruiser. Don't know why. I find that the coupes are cosy and fun, and it's like, I don't know, you're in the little box, you're in a little race car, I love it. That's my preference, which is another reason why I'm like, do I want a Boxster? Because it would have to be convertible, but equally, I know that then it's kind of like you've got two different cars, and then you get the nice weather, or like the winter sun comes out and you go out with the roof down, the heating on full blast, and you're wearing your coat and your scarf and your driving gloves. There are pros to it. Transmission wise, my ideal again would be manual, which is quite a strong must actually for this car. I don't think I want to buy an automatic, again just personal preference. And something else we're really looking out for, because all these cars I'm looking at, so Boxsters and 911s between 1997 and 2005, have very known issues, and if you're in the Porsche world you'll know what I'm about to say. IMS bearing failure and bore scoring in the cylinders. So this is actually another reason why I'm quite keen to buy from a Porsche specialist, because then you've got that sort of guarantee, that peace of mind. The idea of buying one from someone's driveway where I don't know, I mean, I'd have to get it inspected before buying it. That is an absolute must with these, unless you want to spend 10 grand on an engine rebuild or more. Or we find one that's already had an engine rebuild, which is very, very common on these, because of how, it's just crazy how many of the cars are affected by it. And when people advertise them with not mentioning it at all, it's quite obvious that there's a very big issue with it right now and they're just trying to get rid of the car. If you've had an engine rebuild or there's no signs of bore scoring, that's what you'd put at the front of your advert for one of these. Some people say it's like one of those internet forum overhyped issues, so it depends what side of the coin you are on. I personally wouldn't go near one that hasn't been inspected for bore scoring / the IMS bearing has been replaced, just because of the horror stories I've heard, and I don't need more stress in my life than I have with my Range Rover right now. Let's start from the top here. The first one we see, 2006, convertible, obviously, 46,000 miles. That's very low mileage. It's a 3.2 litre. This is a 987. Let's get some pictures of this. That seems incredibly low mileage for the age of the car. And that's the other thing, colour. Kind of like the idea of something a bit more fun for this, but let's see. I love that there's like 5 photos of the same thing. Very helpful. And what is that? A photo of a dealership floor. Very good. And then you can see clearly where the service and reception area is with a bit of Audi in the background. And then more photos of the same angle. Then a VW Beetle. Perfect. Very bizarre that this is an actual dealership taking these pictures. So it's just black on black. Not that exciting. I think the main appeal for that one would be the mileage. It's not that exciting. Now, this one here, up for nearly 12, this one looks absolutely beautiful, this spec. Those wheels are amazing. I think that's the thing with, sometimes I look at a wheel and I think, do I love it or do I hate it? That's what this is doing. Is it a bit of Hot Wheels or is that the most beautiful wheel ever? I think I really like it. Manual, which is great. This is well nice. So this is 46,000 miles. So I do find with these cars, maybe they're like the sort of car that isn't driven that much. It's sort of sat on the driveway, people wait for summer. Yeah, I do quite like the idea of something a bit more fun in terms of colour. Like this one here, 2 owners, immaculate, low mileage. What is the mileage? 57. My son is obsessed with the colour red and he loves Porsches and he always says, I want a red Porsche. So if I could get a red one, that would be like epic. Don't love those. Do I love those wheels? Don't know about those wheels. They look a bit like the 996 one we drove actually. Red would be very cool and it's paired with that beautiful, this like beautiful / awful brown interior. And I say awful in the best way. I love that the carpets and everything is just all the same colour. I'd actually love that kind of interior because I think it's so common to have black. The one we drove, the 996, it had like a flat grey interior everywhere, which looked really cool. So here is a Boxster S, so 3.2 986 S, Tiptronic, automatic, not interested, but let's have a little look anyway because it is the S. Bumblebee spec, we've got black wheels, bright yellow. That's quite fun. And it being the Boxster S, it looks a bit more meaty. I think the bumpers are a little bit different. Okay, so we're now going to move over to the 911s. Model variant, let's start with, we're going to do a 996, that's what we want. Is it going to give me all the options? 996, oh, that's annoying. There's not like a generic 996. Okay, we'll go in one at a time. So we'll do the Carrera 2 to begin with and just have a quick look. So I haven't put any prices in here, so I should probably do that because we're going to get some pricey ones. I'm going to go from 12 to 22.5. I don't think I'd stretch further than that. So let's be realistic. And I don't want to buy an automatic. So let's just change it to manual. I don't know why I'm looking at all of them. Okay, so it's always such simple colours, isn't it? I feel like it's often, oh blimey, I'm not sure about that. So straight away, IMS upgraded and clutch. Good advert. I'm clicking on you because of that. 3.4, 996 Carrera 2, petrol, manual. Pretty nice looking car, I think. We've got the Porsche detailing on the headrest, which is quite nice. And we've got kind of a 2-tone grey interior. Loads of stamps in the service book, which is what we like to see. The price is nearly 18. And often, I don't know why, but the convertibles seem to go for less with these. Yeah, so like here we've got a few for 12 and they're all the convertibles. And I don't know why that is. If anyone knows, please leave me a comment. Someone's advert here says, the 911 you want. I will click on you. Very good. Quite nice with the red brake calipers there. That's a nice little feature. But again, it's black on black. Look at that bump on the roof. That's so cool. Such a cool shape. And I love the dials as well. I love how the dials are so simple. But there's like 5 of them. So it's really, really quite cool to look at. And then if we go to the higher end on price, let's put it high to low. See what the top of the budget would look like. Oh gosh, we've got a bit of a body kit going on here. See, I don't like this sort of look quite so much. I know some people will probably absolutely love that, but with like the big massive chunky spoiler on the back, it's quite cool, but I just don't think it's me. Okay, let's change for a Carrera 4. Let's go up to the next option. We'll get it out of high to low. Let's do relevance. That's lovely at the top there. 81,000 miles. 8 owners, full service history. What is the most important thing to you guys? Like for me, the number of owners doesn't mean that much versus like the mileage or the service history. Like what's your, obviously it means something. If it had 100 owners, you'd be a bit miffed, but what's your like go-to when you're looking at buying a car? What's the sort of things that must be there? And I don't mean a mileage as in I wouldn't want a higher mileage one, but if it was a higher mileage, you need to make sure that certain things have been done and the service history look good and stuff. I think it all just sort of ties into one, I guess, doesn't it? But this one's quite a good price, very good price. The number plate, wow. Lovely interior, that's really cool with the navy. It actually is similar to the Range Rover, but obviously a bit more orangey tan. With navy, it's a convertible, which I'm not as keen on. I guess that's why it's cheaper. 60,000 miles and no mention of IMS or bore scoring, which I don't know, I might be being cynical here, but to me that screams something's gone wrong. I don't know if it's just me being dramatic, possibly. Another one here, which looks lovely. Really cool wheels. Looks like a very nice condition. And it's got loose on the number plate, like loose people, that's my nickname, Lucy, loose, that's kind of meant to be, isn't it? I like the silver around the gear stick there with Carrera 4 on, that looks cool. And I also love that it's called Seal Grey. And now let's look at some C4Ss. All black and grey, aren't they? There's really not much variation. Although this one says blue leather, let's have a look at that. So 21,000, manual, 106,000 miles, slightly higher. And it's got, yeah, like a dark, very dark blue interior. IMS replaced, fabulous history. Convertible. Oh yeah, there you go, recent work carried out, totaling in excess of £10,000, which is why you want to buy one that's been done already and not have that bill yourself. And this one's been advertised as a smile maker, which is nice. I didn't realise how Porsche drivers or sellers had a way with words. So wildcard, I know I said I wouldn't, but let's look at a 997 quickly. What should we look at? Just the Carrera. That's got the most search options. So you can still get some lovely cars here. Oh, it's nice, isn't it? Kind of feel like if I'm doing it, we could. I know I said at the beginning of the video I wouldn't. Low owner, immaculate. Why aren't we doing a 997? But there's loads on here for like 19. The issue with the 997, if you're going for one from a Porsche specialist, which I'd quite like to do, you're going to be paying quite a bit for that privilege because you see them here and they're all private sellers. Although that one's Group 1. That's who I used to work for. How weird. So I guess that's a Part X or something that's come in from one of their dealerships. But yeah, I just need comments to tell me what to do basically, because this is a bit difficult. This is a hard and lovely decision to have to make. So many things to consider and almost too many options. I need to narrow it in and really figure out what I need and what I want. It's not a need, is it? This is very much a want, not a need. I think that is gonna be the end of my Auto Trader search for now. I spend far too much time on that website. Change of angle to mix it up. There's a cot in the background. So yeah, I am gonna ask for some comments below, please, for opinions, whether good or bad, on all the cars I've mentioned. Ownership experiences with them, buying and selling experiences with them, recommendations. What would you do in my situation? Would you start with a Boxster and work your way up? Because I'm not going to be precious about this car, I don't think. If I got a Boxster, I wouldn't be afraid of selling it and bunny hopping up fairly quickly. I'm not talking like having each car for years and then moving on. Would it be nice to have like a story, even for the channel as well, like having these different cars and sort of working up and experiencing that full history, well not really history, that full repertoire of Porsche. So yeah, that's where my head's at. That's what I'm thinking / not thinking. And like I said, we are viewing something tomorrow. So, and this video goes out tomorrow. So it could all like, I don't know, comment as quickly as you can because that's my current thought process. Brain has been dumped, you're welcome. Please stay tuned on the channel for what happens next because I don't know. I literally have no idea what's gonna happen. So I'll look at the channel in a few months when I've bought something and I'll go, oh, that's what happened. And I'll watch this video back and say, oh, classic. She didn't actually know at the time, did she? So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you very soon in the next Lucy on Cars when I will be, oh, the next video is a good one actually. I think you're gonna really enjoy it. It's actually already been filmed as I'm filming this and it's cool. I think you're gonna like it. So stay tuned and I'll see you very soon in the next Lucy on Cars. Goodbye.